everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jasmine and I am a counseling intern. Today I'll be doing a reaction video to Demi Lovato's Dancing with the Devil. I currently work at an addiction facility and I know a lot about substance use. I am a huge fan of Demi Lovato. I saw bits of her documentary and I'm really excited to look at her video and just react to it and give my opinions. I'm a counseling intern, which means I finished my bachelor's and my master's program and I'm currently in my internship stage. I study a lot about mental health disorders, emotional disturbances, and much more. Before Demi Lovato had her overdose, I had a feeling something was going to happen, and this is because of that one song she made. I think it's called Anyone, and I had a lot of negative feelings towards that song just because I feel like a lot of times with substance abuse disorder, the people who are afflicted by this disease, they try to shift blame to another person instead of taking accountability for themselves. And you see this a lot, even in like AA meetings. A lot of times you see them putting a lot of their issues and problems onto religion or like entity, a religious entity. And it's just something that's always kind of bothered me because, first of all, yes, it is a disease. It can affect your body chemically and biologically. But there's also a individual component of owning that, and once you do, it makes you so much stronger and you start to hold yourself accountable for the decisions that you make. In a sense, we are all in control of the things that we can control, such as our decisions. Our decisions are probably the only things that we truly have control over, and I just think that's a really important thing to notice. So in this music video, I do want to see some accountability. I want to see her owning up to her decisions. Even though I know it was a very traumatic experience, I do want to see what she's learned and what she's taken from it.
Ooh, it's just a little red wine, I'll be fine. Not like I wanna do this every night. I've been good, don't I deserve it? I think I earned it, feels like it's worth it in my mind, Twisted reality.
I believe she's talking about that incident the night of her overdose, because in her last documentary she was talking about how it started off with a glass of wine and then she called one of her dealers who came over and brought some more drugs for her. And I'm kind of at a crossroads with this. I'm still not 100% sure if I believe that, you know, people who used to be addicts can't have, you know, wine, liquor, or things like that. I mean, obviously when it comes to like the hard substances like meth, cocaine, things like that, obviously you want to abstain from that. To tell someone who was addicted to alcohol that they can never have a glass of wine or cannot have a glass of champagne at, you know, their daughter's wedding or something, it's kind of like a bleak outlook for them. Just imagine you can never have even a sip anymore. I'm kind of at a crossroads. I'm like sitting on the fence. I don't know if I believe that everyone should abstain forever and ever and ever. I think that just puts a lot of pressure on someone to never do it. And, you know, it's kind of like when someone says, don't press that button, you just want to press the button even more. Or, you know, if you're like sitting in a library and they're like, shh, be quiet, and you just want to laugh, or you just want to be loud, or, you know, make a noise because, you know, there's just so much emphasis on not to do it. It kind of puts more attention on it. I don't know if I believe that. I do think here and there a glass of wine is okay. But for someone who has been addicted, it's harder for them to stop. There's no limit for them. It kind of reminds me of like when you're trying to diet and you're like, okay, maybe if I just have like a piece of this chocolate bar, and then all of a sudden all of the chocolate bar is gone.
All we have to do is make them last the rest of our lives.
Thanks, SpongeBob. I think I'll eat it now.
What issue? So there's like no portion control, there's no stopping. And then a lot of times too, and one of the big reasons why people who are addicted to substances can't stop is because they use drinking or smoking as coping mechanisms. So anytime they feel stressed, down, or even sometimes if they're super happy or overly excited, they're like, oh, I can do it, I'm fine. You know, I've been happy, I've been good, so I can have a little bit of, you know, a little bit of drink. And then that ends up becoming like this pattern of coping mechanisms. So instead of just, you know, maybe taking a relaxing bath or listening to rain or like sitting by some candles and drinking hot cocoa or something, the first thing someone wants to do is turn to wine or turn to alcohol, turn to liquor, whatever it is, and then, you know, cope with it that way. But in order to make those bad feelings go away, they take more and more and more and more because their tolerance to that substance increases. And so each time that happens, they have to take more and more of that substance, which can lead to overdose.
I was okay, but I was lying. I was dancing with the devil, out of control. Almost made it to heaven. It was closer than you know. Playing with the enemy, gambling with my soul. It's so hard to say no when you're dancing with the devil.
I think it's interesting to point out the choice of words. She's using the word devil, and I'm, you know, when that word comes up, it makes you think of temptation. So again, like I'm saying, to tell someone they can't ever have a glass of wine or something like that, that's just a huge temptation. That's the big red button saying, don't touch me. And it usually causes more attention to be placed on it and more, you know, seeking out of that substance.
It's just a little white line, I'll be fine. But soon that little white line is a little glass pie. 10 for a remedy, almost got the best of me. I keep praying it don't reach the end of my lifetime.
Okay, so she's talking about little white line, you know, cocaine. And then she switches to a pipe. So she's saying basically the behavior just escalated that night. Like she took more and more and more of maybe different types of drugs even. It just kind of escalated on her and got out of control. So again, there's just no portion control. There's no limit. It's just more and more and more. Instead of dealing with those deeper feelings, most people will try to mask them with drugs and substances.
Thought I knew my limit, yeah. I thought that I could quit it, yeah. I thought that I could walk away easily, but here I am falling down on my knees, praying for better days to come and wash this pain away. Could you please forgive me? Lord, I'm sorry for dancing with the devil.
I would want to know is like, who's the song for? Is it for the fans? Is it for herself? Is it for her parents or family? She says, you know, it's closer than you know. Like, oh, okay, like, you know, basically saying she almost died. But to me, it's just like, who is that for? I think, you know, she's either trying to let her fans in, let her know how serious this is. But I think she knows that she has a lot of our sympathy. She has a lot of even empathy from a lot of her fans or people who love her. I don't know, that wording, that phrasing kind of strikes a chord in me and just makes me think, who is she trying to reach? Who's she trying to talk to there? Because I'm pretty sure we know, you know, her family definitely knows how close it was. And just very strong imagery here, you know, the hospital bed. She has a lot of makeup on. But again, you know, it's showing all the wires and stuff coming out. It's kind of like a very traumatic experience. Not pretty. She has like these, someone has makeup on her under eyes, make it look like she was actually ill, you know, so she's really trying to give us an inside look here. Her singing voice is just insane. She has so much talent.
Almost made it to heaven. It was closer than you know. Lying with the enemy, gambling with my soul. It's so hard to say no when you're dancing with the devil.
think I know who she's talking to. I feel like she's talking to maybe people who have a lot of like stigma towards people with drug, substance abuse disorders, kind of trying to draw sympathy out from other people. It's like, look, you guys don't understand how hard it is for me to stop. You know, it's so hard to let this go. I feel like I can't quit. I almost overdose, and you know, I feel like still it's a problem, even though all these bad things have happened to her. I know she had like seizures, heart attacks, you know, probably went into a coma, had brain damage. So it's like, even with all those things, I bet she's still struggling to not relapse and not use drugs. So I think she's really trying to appeal to people who are a little critical or skeptical of her situation, or maybe their family member situation who's going through the same thing, and just saying, you guys, it's hard to stop this, you know, it's so addicting. Okay, so I think I like this song better than her other song, Anyone, just because I feel like in this one she's more so explaining her experience instead of shifting blame on other people for her circumstances, you know. So even if you look at the documentary, a lot of people who are close to her will say, yeah, I tried, I did this, I tried to stop this, and still, you know, it's hard, you know. The only person responsible is that person. No one other person is going to stop the addiction, make her stop, control her, control the environment. It's impossible. We can only do our best. We can only do our best for the people who are going through a situation like that, but it's ultimately their choice to stick to it. And I'm not saying it's not gonna be difficult. It's gonna be very difficult. I see it all the time. I meet a lot of clients and speak with them about their experiences, and my heart goes out to them, but I know that I cannot do it for them, and they understand that too. So overall, I think she has a really great singing voice in this music video, and I like the imagery she provided and gave us kind of like an inside look into what happened that night. So that was very interesting. And the lyrics, you know, are just really explaining her experience, her emotions, and what she struggles with inside of her addiction. Alright you guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please check out my channel for other reaction videos, and like and subscribe below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!